Today, I am proud to announce the Walt Disney Company is acquiring Lucasfilm, the global entertainment company founded by George Lucas and the home of the legendary Star Wars franchise.
By Star Wars being the biggest sci-fi franchise in the world, it is only natural that there would be more information about the characters besides the mainstream movies. And in fact, there is a lot in the form of books, comics, video games, and more. But unknown to many, there is a debate around this content between the media that many fans consider to be canon and what the current Star Wars owners deem to be non-canon. This has prompted a conflict between many Star Wars fans, which is known as canon versus legends.
And obviously to sell them off, I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and
This is why I made this video, to explain the reality of why this subject is so controversial. Because even if most of this information has the Star Wars brand on it, it is considered not to be canon in the storyline of Star Wars. And this is where many fans find themselves with a big roadblock ahead. Do we want to explore the new canon line that was created by Disney? Or do we want to see the old books and media now considered as legends? And why would this happen? Well, this has a clear explanation, and it happened after George Lucas created the original movies. He decided to let the universe expand on its own, which many third parties took advantage of. For example, they created video games with a separate timeline, such as Shadows of the Empire, or many books, which all expanded on the Star Wars universe besides the movies, anywhere from 36,000 years before the movie A New Hope to 136 years after it. This extra information was known as the Extended Universe, or EU to simplify it. Basically, it was a free-for-all where many people would write books, create comics, or more with very little control over what was being created.
As the creator of Mara Jade, do you...
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zeb.
No way.
You brought
No
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so
Out.
sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
This all continued for many decades to come until a certain event in 2012 when it was announced that Disney would purchase Lucasfilms and LucasArts with the goal of restarting the franchise and create a new trilogy of movies, which would be episodes 7, 8, and 9. So in preparation for what would be the Disney version of the sequels, many decided to remain quiet and be optimistic about the new movies. Many had hoped that the new movies would fill a void that was covered by the books of the extended universe. However, Disney took another decision that went against many fans. As the new movies were being created, Disney decided that 99% of the old material would be rebranded as legends, or to be clear, non-canon, which meant it was not part of the storyline of Star Wars anymore. This caused many people to fight against Disney. However, they were about to know that whomever is in charge can do whatever they want.
Thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Sir, yes, sir!
Are you shook up? Are you nervous?
Sir, I am, sir!
Do I make you nervous?
Sir!
Sir, what? Are you about to call me an
Many fans were upset with the direction that Disney was taking and felt that they were not being listened as fans, and they were not happy with the cast or setting of the new movies either. Even before The Force Awakens was released into theaters, the feeling of being upset became anger as a lot of content was disappearing into thin air, many which had been the only source of material for many decades. But when Disney took the decision to also make many games non-canon, it angered fans even more. How could Republic Commando, Rogue Squadron, Knights of the Old Republic, many books, and more all just disappear into thin air? But as many fans were trying to expect these new movies to come out, they were anxious to see if the whole movies were going to be as good or better than the EU. Hence the whole rebranding thing, right? But unfortunately, this didn't happen, and many were welcomed with a sloppy and not coherent story in the new movies. And compared to the EU, many characters were not as protagonists as the ones in the books, and also the storyline was really poor into the eyes of many. This created a debate between many fans as to whether to follow the canon or non-canon line, and you would think it would be simpler to follow only one timeline, right? Unfortunately, the decision to eliminate the EU due to plot holes didn't sit very well with Disney either, as they made many plot holes and mistakes of their own as well. Let's make a small example. Yoda's lightsaber was burned in a furnace following Order 66, but then we see years later that Luke was showing Yoda's lightsaber to Grogu as a gift during Disney Plus series The Book of Boba Fett.
It belonged to my teacher, Master Yoda.
And let me remind you one thing before we get a little bit controversial, but the previous example was from material made by Disney, the same one that decided to delete the EU as it created plot holes.
Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
So, as you can see, the decision to disappear a whole universe and to create a new one made many fans drift away from the sequels and just bluntly ignore them. You can see this after The Last Jedi, when many people had high hopes, yet were welcomed with a poor setting that many fans, sequels, and extended universe fans alike hated. And I use the word hate as the whole franchise was thrown down the drain not once, but twice in a few years.
It don't. It don't go down.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh!
You can see the after effects of this in The Rise of Skywalker, where many fans opted not to watch a Star Wars movie at all. Now, before we continue, let me remind you, this video is about all the information that is out there in the Star Wars universe, just like I have in my channel with many videos about Star Wars and with many different topics. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon to get a notification when a video is up. If not, YouTube won't let you know. Okay, now back to the subject. What is the EU universe that fans talk so much about? Was it really good? Was it perfect? Well, it has mixed reviews as well, but there is one thing for sure. Many fans liked it as it was their only source of material for many decades. The EU expanded the story on many of our favorite characters from the originals and prequels, but it also introduced new characters to the storyline. As the story in the EU expanded throughout many years, the most sought after by fans was what happened after the original movies, or to be clear, after Return of the Jedi. And let me give you a small overview about it. In this storyline, the New Republic struggles to install itself as it had just finished the war against the Empire. It also shows a different path for our heroes, like Luke Skywalker, who became a Jedi Master, founded the new Jedi Temple, and had a wife by the name of Mara Jade Skywalker, who had been an assassin of the Emperor. Also, the New Republic was engulfed in the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, which was a near-apocalyptic event in which another race from outside the galaxy invaded and almost destroyed the known galaxy as well. And also another second galactic civil war happens, and many more details. As you see, the extended universe had tons of information, and if the sequel trilogy wasn't to your liking, you should check out some books about the extended universe. There are a lot of resources where you can start, but my personal favorite would be The Dark Empire from the 1990s, which helped kick off the EU and kept the franchise relevant for decades to follow. And not to spoil anything, I will just mention that some key story elements even popped up in The Rise of Skywalker from this book. In the later years, Disney has listened to the fans somehow and have brought many legends characters such as Grand Admiral Thrawn, Dash Rendar, and many more. Plus, the new series of Star Wars have had a different impact with the public in contrast to the image left of the sequels. We can see this because as of 2022, not much has been explored of the sequels, yet Disney keeps making material surrounding the prequels and the original trilogies. We can only hope that there's gonna be be a solution brought to the table in the future, because as things stand right now, many fans are drifting away to other franchises with less issues than Star Wars. Nonetheless, Star Wars remains as the biggest sci-fi franchise in the world, and so it should be taken advantage of it instead of corporate greed. On a personal note, if you're a sequel fan, then by no means you should stop watching them, but do note that there is a lot of material out there with a different universe. And here is a warning for everyone: you can't create criticism of the other side without knowing what the other side has to offer as well. Thanks for watching Content Wars, and before you go, just let me tell you that if you haven't checked my channel, I have a lot of information that I upload daily. This channel keeps growing every day, and it is thanks to you who watch my videos. I also create polls on YouTube, so make sure you are active, you subscribe to my channel, you participate in them, because I bring stuff to the table every day. So by liking and subscribing, we can keep this channel growing, and I can bring you higher quality material with every day that passes. Again, this is Content Wars, and I will see you in the next episode.